Hey, what's going on? Welcome along to episode 59 of the Strategy and Conversions podcast. I'm Jamie Michael Joseph, and as always, I'm joined by Mr. Mark Tanner.
Hi, Ron.
So, Mark, we're back again, and we recently did the episode about the chatbot, about OpenAI Chat GPT. So it'd be interesting to see, what developments have been made, during that one. I know, like I said, I've been using it to create a conspiracy blog. So I'm working on that. I'm going to put that live, and I think that'd be really good to kind of showcase to our listeners, what can actually be done. And I think even going a few steps further as well and looking at how that can be expanded then by actually using proper marketing, real marketing, and stuff like that to look at, earning money from it or, looking to expand it and stuff like that. So I think that's really cool. And, it's talking about like expanding and stuff like that. That brings us on to talk about like today's topic, because as always, my waist is expanding with the amount of pizza and stuff like that I eat. And it's been a topic that we've discussed on different podcast episodes. We've come up about Domino's Pizza and their marketing. And, I was telling you, a few things about like the app and stuff like that, which we'll get into in just a moment. But it also made me think of some of their kind of marketing tactics. Now, I'm a fan of pizza, I'll eat it from wherever. And, as probably the same as anybody, I've ordered from the major chains. Right, so here in the UK, one of those is Domino's Pizza, and I've kind of mentioned it before that I rate their marketing, quite well. I feel like they bully me because I do get lots of information from them and stuff like that. But it's the case of where I've said before, look, you will see them on TV, you'll then see, you'll get a menu come through the door, you'll see the cars driving around, and stuff like that, and you'll get emails, text messages, push notifications from the app, all this kind of stuff. So they're letting you know that they exist, which is all good marketing, right?
Yeah, it's interesting. I remember having I used to be a part of a thing called Entrepreneurs Circle about a year ago. And the one thing that stands out for me with Domino's is that they haven't forgotten, even though we have all sorts of postal strikes going on at the moment in the UK, they haven't forgotten how important it is to leaflet drop and put stuff through the door. So there's these marketing channels, all the new marketing channels coming out. We've got, they'll send WhatsApp messages, text messages, all this new stuff. But there's still the old letterbox of people getting a leaflet and actually having something in their hand to read. I don't know, 80%, I don't know, 80% get thrown in the bin, but 20% land and people buy from them, or people look at them and not just admire the marketing like we do, but actually think, oh yeah, I'll get that. And it's just a reinforcing, isn't it? And a lot of people have forgotten over the years about how good it is still for paper marketing, so people get something actually tangible in their hand.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, 100%. And it's like where you look at the way technology advancements have come in and stuff like that. Like you said, we do get so many kind of messages and stuff like that we can switch off.
Yeah.
And it's something else kind of grabs our attention. And this is where it's really interesting. Now, so someone new to Domino's or something like that, or someone thinking, okay, I've seen this menu, I've had a look at the menu, I'm now going to order. It's probably only a small percentage of people that dial the number and phone up and order a pizza, because they will go to the app or they go online to order it, right? And I think that's where we kind of move into today, where even though that leaflet comes through the door, that menu comes through the door, do I read it? Probably not, right? But it ticks that box in my head where I'm like, Domino's, okay, I'll get around to that at some point. Or, straight away I pick up my phone and look at the app, because it's just like, instead of looking at the menu in front of me, I look on the app and I'll be like, okay, this menu's come out. They probably printed it a little while ago, or are there any later deals now? Are there better deals on the app and stuff like that? So, the way that I kind of say that, I totally agree with you, the whole kind of thing, the letter drops and stuff like that. And I think we spoke about this on the whole kind of local business marketing episode that we did, is when you can actually combine the likes of leaflets and print and paper drop and post and all this kind of stuff, when you can tag that in with technology, you are going to win. If you can really make it easy for people to buy, then that's the whole thing, isn't it? Making it really simple for people.
Yeah, and it just keeps it front of mind, doesn't it, the whole time? So you see an advert on the telly, and you might see something that comes up online. Then you'll see a leaflet come to the door, and it's all reinforcing that Domino's. And let's face it, I mean, Domino's are big enough now that if it didn't work, they wouldn't be doing it. I mean, they if it were if there's they must spend millions on advertising. I mean, they must spend millions on advertising. Now, they're obviously getting a return on investment. So if they're spending millions on advertising, they're not just getting a million back. They're getting 10, 20 times that back. So for them to be doing it, that it's got to be, it works. So why not learn from success leaves clues? We've said that before. Why not learn from the big boys? If you can afford to do it, and if you, especially in a local thing, if you can do it, then why not? Because it definitely works. You can't argue the fact that it doesn't work.
I think that there is a massive gold nugget there, right? Is that if you keep seeing the same marketing, right, and you know that it costs a lot of money to do that marketing, then it works. Right? Because no one's going to be paying out lots of stuff for it not working for a long period of time. It's like you can see that a lot with different areas of marketing. And you're saying then, I was talking to a guy the other week, and he's like an advisor, a broker, and he works for a company where he gets given leads, locally and stuff like that he has to chase up. And he's also kind of tasked with creating his own leads. And he said he went to this conference of all their kind of salespeople, and their kind of chief exec, gave them a bit of a hard time, where he said, look, what are you guys doing to create your own leads? He said, I'm spending out, something like $500,000, I think it was, right, on Google ads and stuff like that to get you leads. Like, what are you guys doing? And it's just like, it is crazy. I mean, that $500,000 that they're spending on Google leads obviously works. It's what's keeping the business going, and they're looking now to expand on that. But that's the whole kind of point there. Like for them, they're spending out that $500,000. They're not going to cut that because they would be out of business. So with Domino's, all this kind of stuff that we're seeing, like you said, success leaves clues is like pick up on that. Where I get into it from the marketing side is I'm going, okay, what's changed? What's happening here? What's moved around? And this is what led us to kind of talk about this episode. And actually leading up to what I was telling you about this, I said I ordered a pizza, and I've got the app and everything like that. And what happens is it's pretty cool. It gives you a thing that says it's being cooked, it's being checked and all this kind of thing, and then it's out for delivery, and it makes a noise every time it updates. And it made this noise, it made this update, and it showed error with these different kind of squiggly things. And I'm like, what the is going on with my pizza? Who's got my pizza? That kind of thing. Yeah. And all of a sudden it just made a noise again and flipped back and said, only joking, your pizza's on the way.
I love it. I just love that.
I was like, that is brilliant. I was like, you got me.
yeah.
Got me for a moment, I was about to put my shoes on, but it's like that stuff there, like, is brilliant, right? For that customer journey, for keeping people engaged, for showing that not so much, look, we're human, we've got a human element to it, but we've got a fun side. It's that kind of thing. It's that, okay, look, we've taken your money. We're going to give you a pizza, which we probably overcharged you for, right?
Exactly.
Let's have some fun with it as well, at least we can make you laugh. Is that kind of thing where you're just like, okay, look, these little things, they don't need to do that.
No, exactly. But it's just brilliant little touches. And I think it's all, and again, it appeals to emotion, doesn't it? Because again, it seems like something very, very simple, but the emotion the first emotion was, what? And then it was the humor. Then he's joking, and you just relax. You think, oh, great, my pizza's on its way. It's just, it's just that emotional burst that makes you think, oh, that's really good. I'll order for that. I know you would probably anyway, but a lot of people say, oh, that's really good fun. Yeah, let's order again and do, because if they're coming up with little quirky things all the time, it's fun. Like you said, it's fun. I noticed the other day, what was it? I can't remember what product it was, but it was on the packaging. So I really can't remember for the life of me what product was, which sounds a bit odd. I think it was some kind of oat milk or something, but it had all four sides of the box had a kind of like, there's a lot of writing on it. I picked it up on there. I thought there's a massive amount of writing on here, and it was all quite a really light, humid writing about the product and how it does this and just lots of really fun little games and and little games for the kids and all this kind of stuff. And you think that is a really you read everything around there, and it's fun. It really is fun for everyone to read, and you think, wow, that's a fantastic piece of marketing. They put a lot of effort into it, made it humorous, and it's a product that I buy all the time now. But it was just it's the same. I remember the old cornflakes on the back in the day, all the Kellogg's products. They always put something on the back of the cereal because when the kids eating their cereal, they pick up and look at it, and there's little puzzles and that kind of stuff. And it's just that fun element that Kellogg's did it for kids, but these people are doing it for adults.
And that I think that's exactly it. And I think it's the same reason that McDonald's put a toy in the Happy Meal.
Of course.
That is, the kids kind of relate to it as something where it's like, okay, if we have to choose over this one and that one, what's the little things that make us like this brand more or like it? Okay, it's the toy. Okay, look, it's a bit of the humor. I think what I really liked with the app kind of thing is that I think for anyone, if you order any kind of takeaway, right, the time just goes past really slowly then until it's delivered, right? So you're kind of waiting. And I think with this is a good kind of pattern interrupt. It's that when you kind of like halfway through and it's just all of a sudden it's like you restart then. So okay, actually it wasn't too long because it was only when they did that joke part to when they actually got us to it. So I think that's really smart in where they do that. Now I think kind of looking at good, bad and ugly of kind of Domino's and stuff like that. And look, before Domino's kind of like kind of pick us apart or anything like that, we love you, like don't come after us, right? This is just observing. We don't know the whole kinds of ins and outs. But I was saying to you, Mark, like what's really cool is that they've come out with like this new kind of deal. Like it's like a special offer. Like pizzas have been slashed in half. In regards to price. So just say for instance, a large pizza now costs £24, but you can get it for £12, right? Mm-hmm. So they've done that. Now, what's really good there is like for one, look, they're giving you a deal, right? So everyone loves a deal. It's just like we got to get a deal, right? They've put that deal in place as well for January. Right, what goes on in January? Everyone's New Year's resolution: lose weight, eat healthy. So they're probably expecting that they're not going to get as many sales as what they did in December. So they come up with some kind of tactic there to, obviously, get people into it. So in one way, it's really smart, right? It's good marketing to do that. Where what was really interesting is from being, a Domino's customer is, well, I know a month ago that any pizza was £10. So now you're telling me it's an amazing offer. It's £12, but a month ago it was £10. You've put the prices up because the pizza that's costing £24 now was costing £16 a year ago, right? So everyone knows that price is going up and everything like that. Cost of living. You need to earn more money. Get involved in the Cash Creation Club. Information below, right? but that there is like, look, prices have gone up. We know that, but to hide it, again, good marketing, right? We're coming out with deals to let you know that prices have been slashed. It's all about the words, the emotional words, isn't it? When people say the prices have been slashed, they think, oh wow, okay, that's really good to know. Let's have a look, and then they'll, like as I say, you're a very regular customer. Now some people may not be, and so they won't know that a few months ago it was £10. They just say, wow, that's a half price. That's brilliant. Boom, that's the message I want to get across. And like you said, in that new year when people's resolutions are starting to waver and they think, do you know, I fancy a pizza. So that's sort of second week of January, let's go for a pizza. And then the whole thing carries on, doesn't it? But it's good marketing to that kind of language is really, really good. The kind of language that really makes people think. I mean, the word slash is a brilliant word when it comes to, showing people, it's not our new offer. It's we slashed our prices. None is messing around. Really good. Exactly. And then look, we're moving to another part then, which I'm just like, this is a smart play. It's also, it doesn't stack up. And, bottom line is, does it really matter? Is that around about a month or so ago, they introduced a delivery fee. So there was never a delivery fee. As long as you spent over a certain amount, there was never a delivery fee. Now it doesn't matter how much you spend, there's a delivery fee, right? So it's only £3, right? So doesn't matter too much, but it adds on to your bill, obviously, and everything like that. But like that £3, look, for most people, they probably get to the checkout and they go, what a cheek, £3. But it doesn't matter. They click the button, they go ahead because they're like, I want it delivered. What's going on. I've seen now they've got these little lights on the car that say Domino's and stuff like that. So, again, a good marketing play, front of mind, people are seeing it. Out walking the dog, you see the Domino's car. We'll get Domino's tonight. But that £3, right? Now, for one, I'm thinking, how far away do I live from the shop? I'm thinking, okay, look, fuel prices have gone up. Of course it is, right? Cost of living's gone up. The drivers, maintenance on their car, they may need, a bit of money for that, more than what Domino's are willing to pay or whatever it is. But I'm like, okay, look, delivering that to my house doesn't cost £3.
No.
But, okay, we'll let that go. What's really interesting as well is that I was out walking a dog one night, and a Domino's car parked up. The guy got out, and he got out one bag with the pizzas, right? And there's never 2 bags in there. So I'm just like, okay, you're doing 3 trips in one trip. So it's like you've charged £9 for delivery, right? For 3 different people, but you've done it all in one trip. So it's like, what I would love to know there is it's like, right, okay, how much money is going to the driver? How much is going into Domino's? That's the thing. And look, that there, it's all business. And like I said, most people, they just click the button because, we're being lazy by not going to collect it. It's ease to us that we can just get the pizza delivered. But just from what I've said there, look, how much money is Domino's added to their revenue?
Yeah, they got it. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and especially as with times with prices going up, it's a really good ploy because what they've done is £3 is a nominal amount, isn't it? I mean, a lot of people think, oh, £3, that's nothing. But when you say, okay, they're doing 3-4 deliveries in one drive, it suddenly comes up to 9-12 quid. And all of a sudden, that's a lot of extra money they've made, a lot of extra revenue they've made. And it's a bit the old McDonald's tricks, isn't it? The McDonald's, do you want to go large? Do you want fries with that? Do you want this? Do you want that? And it's, when people are looking and they see it's a £1.50 extra, I'll do that. I'll do this, or whatever money it is, I'm not sure. But all of a sudden, it just like we've been saying on different podcasts, is how much more revenue can you get from that one customer? And instead of just being content with the certain amount of revenue that they get per customer for giving them for delivering a pizza, they're thinking, right, how much more can we get them to spend? Well, let's just put this little bit in, which is going to be quite insignificant, but it's going to be very significant when they're delivering. They've got, I don't know how many pizzas they deliver each night, but if they can then double up trips, where they got 3 or 4 deliveries on one run, then all of a sudden that becomes much more profitable for them.
Exactly that. I mean, that's the thing, isn't it? And I think from some of the things I said, like I was saying, like the Domino's don't come after us, right? Because we don't know all the ins and outs. I'm sure that prices of ingredients have gone up, and the electric in the shop and everything like that has gone up, of course. Right.
Yeah.
So, but what's really interesting there is, I think, from looking at it from a marketing point of view and business point of view, is that look, prices have gone up, but the consumer isn't put off. It's like, if it goes too high, of course, the consumer's going to be put off because it comes down to a choice. Then, can I afford this? Is it worth it? That kind of thing. But if you're wanting a takeaway and you've already decided out of the competitors is pizza, and you've decided out the pizza competitors is this one because maybe they're the only ones who deliver to you, or you like whatever's going on, or the deal, then an extra few quid, it doesn't matter. You're going to go, okay, I'm going to go ahead and do this.
Yeah.
But I think this is a lesson for any business, especially right now. I mean, we did this on a couple of podcast episodes ago where we said about a local business saying, look, I've got to earn an extra 50K next year, just to make the same money as what I am this year. It's like, okay, look, well, how can you start putting prices up and start increasing it, start putting things in place that is going to help you get this money without it seeming as if you're just pricing yourself out of the market?
Yeah. And that's the thing. It always the first place to start. If you're looking at any kind of increase in revenue, the first place to start is your existing database. Well, how can I just give them enough value that I can just ask them all for, in this case, for example, just another £3. Or if it's if you're how can I bolt on this product or this extra little bit or this extra service that I can charge another, I don't know, £20 for a month or something. Because the point is, they're already there, aren't they? The customer's already there. They're already buying from you, and there's no cost of you having to acquire that customer because they're already there. And that cost of acquisition is huge when you're trying to get new people on. And we've talked about that before as well. And I know that there's many stuff written about how more expensive it is to get a new customer than use an existing one. But it's surprising how many businesses don't do that and don't look at their existing customer base and don't even nurture their existing customer base. So those customers just wander off without them even knowing. That's another thing.
Do you know what? I mean, that's a massive thing as well, isn't it? It's like, I know what you were saying, and I totally agree with it about with Domino's. That they do the marketing because it works. Like, they don't have to do it, but they do it because it works. It's like there is a part there where if they got complacent, or if they tried to cut costs and they thought, you know what, we're not going to do these leaflet drops anymore, right? Then all of a sudden it starts dropping out of your mind. Well, if there's another chain, if there is Pizza Hut, if there is Papa John's, or there's a local kind of business that is doing pizza, right? And they start doing those things, all of a sudden they can start losing market share.
Yeah.
Because you start going, okay, I'll check these ones out now, or I've ordered from those before, they've got a better deal on now, so I'll use those.
Yeah. And isn't it, so what, it's talking about that was really interesting. I can't remember, we were working with somebody and they were saying, I think, that because we were talking about losing market share or something, and they were saying, it's only a few customers, it doesn't matter. Bang, slippery slope of decline. It really is. It's only a few customers. And then you say, and the following month, well, it's only a few customers. And the following month, it's only a few customers. And all of a sudden it becomes a big problem. And you haven't, not say you haven't noticed it, but you haven't taken any steps to reverse that trend. And the trend starts very slowly, but again, it's that compound line, isn't it? The line that compounds down starts slowly at first, but then it will drop quite significantly. And if you're not on the ball and you're not really measuring that, say, hang on, why have we lost a few customers this month? What's happened? And if you don't try and reverse that quite early on, you can fall. You can basically lose a lot of business.
I can remember reading this study, and I think it was only about a year ago or something like that, and it was talking about Coca-Cola. And I'm not sure if it still is, but Coca-Cola was the world's biggest brand, right? I'm sure it's still in the mix, but I'm sure the likes of Apple and stuff like that are up there. But it was a case of it was in the mix, right? So this being like one of the leading brands, if Coca-Cola stopped all marketing, then I think it was in the space of something like 7 years, it would be out of business because no one would be buying it, because the kind of future generation and stuff like that, they wouldn't see that as the go-to kind of drink to buy and stuff like that, or it wouldn't be just the norm to go and buy it. And it's like, we're talking about the world's biggest brand, 7 years. So you think just you as a small business, or a local business, or even if you just think of like a local brand and stuff like that, that is rapid. That decline of, if you don't let people know that you exist, if you don't let people know you can help them, if you don't let people know why you are a better consideration over X, Y, Z, well, people aren't going to come to you. That there, within the short space of time, we talk about, don't we? Look, you look at where you are now, it's because of the actions you took 90 days ago. If you look at where you're going to be, okay, it's 90 days from now. It's like, it's the actions that you take are going to, end up with that result. And it's just like, for a local business, I think it was really interesting, actually. I think from saying that there, the term kind of comes to mind. So like, we've said it a lot of times that, if times get tough and stuff like that, look to make more money, right? There's so many people look at the opposite in a personal kind of way of, where can we save money? Businesses do the same. And there's that whole kind of thing of people that say about, when times get tough, marketing is the first thing that gets cut when it shouldn't, right? And I 100% agree with that. But on the flip side, I think there's a part where you can call that statement rubbish, because you can say it's only worth keeping your marketing if it's working.
If it's working, exactly right.
Like, if not, it makes sense to invest money that you have in better marketing to achieve better results, to make more money, because otherwise you are going to be out of business.
And it's interesting, because there's some of the thing that you taught me, a while back is that all marketing works depend on who you're marketing, to, and how you're using it. But all marketing works. It has its place, but there are times when some marketing needs to be tweaked and replaced and changed to be refreshed, and then you go back in a cycle again. But all marketing works to a degree depending on what you're doing. So there isn't such a thing as bad marketing. It's marketing that isn't working and needs to be changed, needs to be played around with. But I think that I would agree that that when people say, "Oh, I can't," this marketing isn't working for me anymore. Right, so change it to something that does, but don't ignore it, because that could work for you again in a year's time, because you have a different audience, you have a different environment, you have all sorts of. The world has changed. The world changes, and opinions change, things change, and so that you put it onto the back burner, or you think, right, okay, that's a campaign that worked a while back. Let's just shelve it for a minute, because at the moment it's not giving me the results that I want. So how can we tweak it? And this is why measurement is, I talk about the 5 M's of business mastery, and the third M is measurement. That's why if you're not measuring stuff, if you don't know, I'm not talking about measuring your profit and loss and your costs and all the rest. I'm talking about measuring things like your conversion rate on marketing. If you're not measuring how many customers you have last month compared to this month, or how the return you're getting on your investment of Facebook ads or Google ads or whatever, if you're not measuring and keeping your eye on that ball, it's too easy to lose focus. And all of a sudden, find in 3 or 4 months' time, think, oh my God, it's not working. And you think, yeah, well, you should have realized that back 3 months ago, because you could see the trend. And you've got to keep your eyes on those kind of trends, because it's the first thing you ask yourself, okay, is this a trend? How can I find out if this is a trend that's getting worse, or is it just a glitch? And then, again, monitoring on the following month, you think, no, this is definitely a trend. I need to sort it out. Or you can say, no, thankfully, I don't know why, but there was a kind of a bit of a glitch, and now it's back on course. But you've got to keep your eye on the ball. Marketing is something that has to be tweaked continually, and got and right and looked at and improved or changed in some way, because the audience out there in the big bad world are constantly changing. Their opinions are changing. The environment's changing.
Oh, it makes so much. I mean, it is insane, isn't it? Just on, the how rapidly things change,
Yeah.
and you can be caught out, if you're not keeping your eye on the ball and stuff like that with your marketing, and just with general stuff in business, it's just that kind of thing. But like you said there, with everything in marketing works. And I reckon we should probably do like a whole episode around this. And when you were talking about it, like the way I kind of pictured it in my head is like, you imagine you have a car, right? And you go in to start your car and it's not working, right? Well, and say it's the battery, right? The battery's dead, right? You could need a new battery, you could jump the battery, whatever it is, right? But once you've got that sorted, the rest of the car works, right? And it's like, you could just have a dodgy battery in your marketing. Like there's something there that isn't connecting everything else. The dots aren't connected because this one thing is missing. But what a lot of people do is that they throw away that car and then they go and spend money on a new car. Like this is a great play, right? A great play by website designers, right? Because they say to someone, your website doesn't get any customers and all this kind of stuff. You need a new website. Well, the actual base of the website is exactly the same. And they may change some colors, they may change the layout and stuff like that, but that doesn't mean you're going to get any more customers. Is like, look, the traffic that you drive into that page or that website, the actual copy that presents the offer and the actual offer is what converts the people, right? But people say you need a new website, when it's just like you don't need to change the whole website. You just, maybe you need a better copywriter, maybe you need to work on your offer better and look at an offer that actually works. And it's like, it is that kind of thing. I think so many people, we see people do this in business, but they're always onto the next shiny thing. And we see people do this with their marketing so much. I've paid out a bit of money on that. I got rid of it after 3 months because it didn't work. Is that, well, why didn't it work? Because it should work. SEO works. It's either a case of, the company that you employed didn't know what they were doing, or you only paid a little bit, expecting a lot back, when actually the stuff that they were doing did work and it's building up over time and stuff like that. So there's lots of different scenarios there that you have to look at. You have to, you said, keep your eye on the ball, and you have to look at the different platforms and stuff like that. I had a chat with someone back before Christmas, and they said, "Oh yeah, I need someone on my side who knows all the platforms, knows all the updates and stuff like that." And I said, they'd just be chasing their tail the whole time. Because when you work on the strategic side, and then you can work on tactics, well, all the tools, all the platforms, that's exactly what they are. They're tools, they're platforms to help you leverage. You don't need to know all the ins and outs, because if you're getting into that much, of knowing how certain algorithms work and all this kind of stuff, you're out of business then with the next algorithm update.
So, yeah, exactly. Just chasing all the time. As Gary V said, a couple of years ago, forget the algorithms. When I think it was Instagram at the time started to change algorithms, and people were trying to find their way around the algorithm. And I think he had a Instagram post about forget the algorithm, just give people value. Whether it's LinkedIn, Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, whatever you're going to use, just concentrate on giving them value, because that's what people will notice and that's what people will see. And like you said, the algorithms on all those social media platforms are changing all the time, and if you're going to be spending so much time to be constantly looking at, I've got to make sure I'm really up to date with this, and I tweak what I'm doing to fit this algorithm, you're just going to be chasing your tail. And you're going to lose sight of actually what you're trying to do is educate people or show people, signpost people to something and giving them the value, because that's what really the marketing is, isn't it? Marketing is all about not satisfying an algorithm on LinkedIn. It's about getting people to your product or service and encouraging them to buy you're giving them value, so you're encouraging them to exchange their value in the sense of money.
Yeah, I think that the biggest mistake that a lot of people make is they kind of think of marketing being a quick win advertising play, and not to say this in any disrespectful way, but you do get people who are old school that are stuck in that way of thinking, where maybe it was a case of they put money into the yellow pages. Okay, they knew that their ad would be in there. Everybody would go to the yellow pages who needed services, and they would get some business from it. So they kind of look at, okay, there's that return there. Whereas like now we live in such a different world that we have to look at different channels and different ways of doing things and where best to spend our money. But it's not always an instant return.
No.
It's that you could be doing stuff now that is really going to pay off in 6 months' time, right? But you cut it at 4 months because it doesn't work, in your eyes. You're not going to get the big payoff. You're just going to keep going back then to doing things every 4 months that don't work, don't add up, don't compound, to get that kind of outcome. And there's, what was really interesting, I don't know if you've seen this, but just after, I think it was either before Christmas or after Christmas, here in the UK, one of the supermarkets basically stocked this Prime energy drink. If you came across this, you've got the YouTubers, you've got Logan Paul, and you've got KSI. They've come out with this drink, Prime drink, in America and stuff like that. And then it came over here. So it was in one supermarket. People went a bit crazy trying to get it. It sold out. Right. Yeah. And then another supermarket had it, and people were kind of fighting over it. I've seen so much over the past kind of 2 weeks of people on LinkedIn and Facebook and all this kind of stuff talking about the marketing and talking about how great the marketing is and epic and, all these kind of words that were mentioned. And it's like, when you actually look at it, there's no marketing there. There's no real marketing. Like, what's going on is we're looking at the kind of old school guerrilla marketing, which is kind of forced, which is kind of quick, bang, 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 teamed up with influencer marketing, which really is the new kind of guerrilla, advertising there, where you've got someone endorsing it. People are saying, look, this is a really cool drink. You should go and buy it. They know their audience, the younger crowd and stuff like that. They're looking at it going, I want this because these guys have it. Going back to Hulk Hogan, David Beckham when I was younger and stuff like that, they had it. And it's like, when you look at this stuff there, you team that up then with supply and demand issues, because I'm sure that they would get it into supermarkets if they could. I'm sure that they didn't have the amount of supply that they could give to the demand, different, whether that's a case of they didn't create enough to begin with because they wanted to see, what the kind of take up would be, whether it's a case of the manufacturing couldn't produce as many, within a short space of time, whether they couldn't get it shipped over here or, produced over here or whatever it is. If they could have done that, they would have done that because they could have sold 10 times, 20 times, 30 times more. Will people still be buying it in a month or so's time? I don't think they will. Or maybe they'll still be buying, but they won't be queuing up and fighting and paying over the odds and stuff like that for it. But when you actually look at that and you go, okay, look, where was the marketing? There wasn't. The smart thing is these guys are getting paid, rather than taking a commission, or being paid to promote it. They're owning the company, so they're taking all the profits, right? Whether they go on to sell that or whatever it is. But when you look at it, you go, okay, where's the marketing? Where's the kind of future play? Where are they?
Yeah.
Like it's as well as I do. Like the money's in the data, right? I know we're talking about retail and we're talking about that kind of thing. But if they would have created it where they said, look, sign up to this page, we're going to send out on email or on an app on a push notification or something like that when this is going to be available. You could buy it directly from our website. You can collect it from this place or anything like that. They could have sold as many as they wanted. They could tell people when it's in certain places and all this kind of stuff. There's so much marketing that they could do around it, which that comes back to, like I've said, I don't see it as being good marketing. I see it as being guerrilla marketing where they're just kind of, they've got a product to flog, so we'll look to flog it.
And I think that brings in mind to me of the buyer's mountain. The buyer's they got the top, the people who are ready to buy. They've sliced off that top, if you like, of the buyer's mountain, but which is a very small percentage of the whole mountain, obviously, because it's the very top of it. But what they've missed out is all those people who are still climbing up the slope because they haven't got their data and they haven't said, look, would you, we've got this fantastic drink. This is some of the issues we have, but let's have your details and we'll get this out to you. And those people who weren't ready to buy and go in that frenzy of buying or weren't following the influences that other people were following, but they were still interested in some kind of energy drink, and people come on, this is good, this is how many people have used it. There's the marketing of saying, okay, let's get your data and let's then start drip feeding that data. I mean, again, Domino's, go back to Domino's. If you look at Domino's must have zillions of names and addresses on their database, and they drip feed all the time. They don't ignore that database. That's essential to them. That data is, it's their company. Yeah. If they didn't have the data, their company wouldn't exist because, it'll just fall by the wayside. So that data, understanding that, and getting people to give you their details, their email details, especially nowadays, but not just email, maybe mobile numbers or something that is crucial, because if you don't get that and you just sell somebody something with no record of who they are, and great, you made a ton of money maybe in 2 or 3 months. All of a sudden you think, oh, we haven't got any customers. We don't know who they are. And one of the things I was talking to somebody about on them, and I know I've mentioned it here. Sorry, I know I've mentioned it here a few times. Is about I love Indian. I love Indian food more than a lot of different cuisines. There is not one Indian restaurant that I have ever been to that has ever taken. You give them your mobile phone. Yeah, you say I want to take away or I want to make a booking. Yeah, what's your name? Get it and the phone number. So they've got your name and the phone number. No, none of those Indian restaurants have ever contacted me by a text or anything to say we got a special deal for Wednesday because we're empty on a Wednesdays and we're doing we're giving you starters and a main for whatever, that kind of thing. They never do it. And I remember even talking to my local Indian restaurant a while back, and I said, his name's Sadiq, and I said, Sadiq, you could steal a march. I said, you do Thursdays, Friday, Thursdays, Fridays, Saturdays, and then Sundays tails off. They're the busy days. I said, but what about Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday? When you still got the staff in, you still got the lights on, you're still cooking a few takeaways for people, but your restaurant's empty. And that's where you make your money. So why not giving special deals? You've got all their phone numbers. They've been to your restaurant. Now, okay, some may have not been very happy with it. I don't know, but there's going to be. It's quite a good restaurant. There's going to be quite a few people there that are that have been there and enjoyed their meal, and you say, look, Tuesday deal. Here's a Tuesday deal for you. People don't go out on a Tuesday. Oh, they don't seem to go out on Tuesday, maybe, but you got a special deal. Tuesday, yeah, takeaway. Tuesday takeaway, or Tuesday come into the restaurant. It's 25% off or 30% off. People, yeah, actually, we could go out for on a Tuesday night, and all of a sudden they're filling their restaurant where it wasn't filled before, and it's a bonus.
Yeah.
All by collecting the data and using that email, because so what they've done is they coming back to, like we were saying, you use your existing customers. They've already been to you. You haven't got to get anybody new. They've already been. They bought something. So why not use them to see if you can generate more revenue from them? And you're giving them value. You're giving them a meal for 25-30% off or something. You know?
And you get them, purchasing more frequently, and
Yeah.
all that kind of stuff as well, so you're making
Yeah.
more from each customer, over the kind of lifetime and stuff like that. And the big thing there, and I think this is the what people need to take from this as well, is like, look, the lights are on anyway, the staff are being paid anyway, so put it to work, make it use to your fancy. I was watching a video less than a week ago, and you had Grant Cardone, you had his number two, Jared, as well. I can't remember which one it was who was talking. And they basically said, look, every time they would sell a course or they would give away a freebie or something like that, they would have a box on there for someone to put their telephone number, right? Mm-hmm. He said, now, as soon as the purchase went through or anything like that, their sales team would phone that person. And they would be like, thanks for purchasing, or I seen you downloaded this. And they would go on then to ask them the questions like, what are you really trying to achieve, right? And the big thing there, they're trying to sell them a coaching product or, more kind of courses, whatever it is. But they said that there made so much money, compared to the front end one. And because they have that data, if the internet went away, they have enough data there to survive, and that there is a massive thing. And again, look, you may pull that back just to you being, a small local business, but just thinking of, you've got those contact details for the people in your local area.
Yeah.
If you wanted to tomorrow, you could do something. And look, start collecting that data. You don't even need to do anything with it. Like, you don't need to run a massive campaign straight away, right? But start collecting that data so that when you do have that decision, you can make it. And like you said, with the Indian restaurant is, okay, look, Tuesday is quiet. So let's look at Tuesday being a better night, right? Well, in 6 months' time, in a year's time, right, that Tuesday night contributes to 20% of your revenue.
Yeah, exactly.
And then you get to look at Wednesday or, Monday or whatever it is that you do something else.
And it's also the other thing that springs to mind there as well is just that if you've got an existing data, customer data, like you were saying, you've got that data on record, and then the whole refer a friend, refer a friend, bring someone else along to the restaurant, someone who's never been before. All of a sudden, boom, they get some more names. Someone else gets a bit of reputation. If you refer a friend, we give you a special deal of so much off or whatever. It's just thinking outside the box, which so few, well, certainly restaurant owners don't do. I don't think. And I'm not talking just about Indian restaurants, all sorts of, other restaurants. I know, there's around where I live, there's, or sort of down into Bristol a little bit more. You've got Vietnamese restaurants and that kind of stuff, but none of them do it. None of them at all. And yet everyone would benefit from doing it. And with the technology we have now, I mean, this is the crazy thing, isn't it? It's not arduous anymore. It's the technology is there to make it really, really simple to just send out a blast SMS message to all these people to say, come in on the Tuesday.
And thinking about that as well, and we'll wrap this episode up with this thing here. We've mentioned this on different podcast episodes. We've done this in training. We've seen how this works, right? We've said about the thing called the 9-word email, right? Where you just follow up with, the person. You just say, hey, hi, Mark, are you still interested in, marketing services, a bit more specific, but you keep it short, like 9 words, right? Mm. And now you can do that over text. You can do that over Facebook Messenger, WhatsApp, whatever it is. If you look at your contacts, people who you've had discussions with and all this kind of stuff who haven't gone ahead with your service but were interested, if you send them that message now, you will get some that go ahead.
Definitely. It is. I've done it, and at a time when it's been particularly easy, and I remember being quite cynical about it. Will it work? Not sure. And I've done it to about a list of, 50 people, and you end up with 2 or 3 people interested and actually buying. So I'll come on. I'm interested in that. Now that's a pretty good return for just about 5 minutes of compiling a simple email and broadcasting it out to all your database.
That's the thing, isn't it? So look, before you go and chuck money at, different services and
Yeah,
Facebook ads and stuff like that, just leverage what you already have.
yeah, exactly.
Use it to your advantage, see what you can get in. And I think, Mark, we're summarized this episode with saying I spend too much time and attention on Domino's. And then but I think looking at that business and looking at those, I think we should look at a few other businesses as well, and look at the good, the bad, and the ugly, and just look at some areas where we think they could improve,
Yeah.
and look at those ones moving forward. So, Mark, we'll wrap this one up. It's always been a pleasure,
Okay.
sir.
Yep.
And I'll see you next time.
Good to be here. Yep. Cheers, everyone. Bye bye.